Welcome, everyone, to Right Size Livin, where recovery meets real life. From health and fitness to humor and hard-earned lessons, this is your space for honest conversations, personal stories, and tips to thrive in every aspect of life. Whether you're in recovery or just curious about living alcohol and addiction-free, you're in the right place. Let's dive into the journey together.
Am I starting? Okay, so I think it's time for the buy-in. We're welcoming our great friend Charlie today, joining us on
What's
the
up,
podcast
Charlie?
on Right Size Livin. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I guess I'll start with the buy-in first, and I'm probably an 8, little bit of anxiety going on in my life. I'm trying to decide, make a pretty big life choice here coming up, but I feel like grateful that I have this choice to make. And, I try and keep things in perspective as far as like, a couple years ago, I was not in a position to have any sort of choices in my life. I was pretty controlled by my disease. So yeah, I'm an 8. In general, things are good. Charlie, would you like to buy in next?
Yeah. Is this like a 1 through 10? How are we doing scale?
Yeah.
10 is good.
And we're going to cash out when we're done. So leave a little room for improvement if you want. Okay. or we might drive you down a little bit. I don't know.
You can use fractions too.
I would say I'm probably at an 8 as well. Things have been pretty good lately. I had kind of a harder week. One of my clients at work passed away on Monday, but I also think that that's just kind of put life in perspective for me, and work's going really well. I have some like new work opportunities coming up, and I just have a lot of opportunities to be of service. So I'm feeling pretty good lately.
Nice.
And then do I call on someone else?
Yep,
yeah, Brandon.
I'd say I'm at 8, 9. This time last year, last year, I mean, this was like when I was at my worst, in early recovery. And I wrote T-Bone last night. I was just sitting on the steps that I was sitting on last year, smoking a cigarette. And I mean, I wanted to die because I was in so much pain. And, I've got my son in the house sleeping, and, there's the stresses of life, but I'm just, compared to where I was last year, I never thought I was going to get out of it. And you guys helped me get out of that. So I'm very grateful and thankful for what I have today. So yeah, 8 or 9.
Yeah.
T-Bone?
I'm cruising in at like an 8.5. Feeling pretty good. Probably got the most sleep last night that I've gotten in like, I don't know, weeks, which is really helpful. And then I got, my big 32 ounces of coffee. So we're doing a solid 8.5.
Cold brew?
Oh yeah, Dutch Bros.
Yeah.
Pretty soon we're gonna start charging them for these plugs.
Ooh, that looks refreshing.
Great.
You're up to bat, Cbass.
Oh, it's me. I was thinking about doing a low score because I was gonna complain about being tired. I was gonna come in at a 5 or 6, but then I was like, okay, let's think about the week that I just had. I just had an amazing week. We went out to Central Oregon, to the Painted Hills. Have you guys heard of the Painted Hills?
Yep.
Went there 4 days with our son, and his girlfriend came with us, and we stayed at an Airbnb on a lake, and we went fishing. I don't know anything about fishing. Our son taught us how to fish. He bought me and Sarah a fishing rod, so we were all able to fish. I caught little tiny fish like this, and I was so happy. So looking back at the week and what a great week it's been, I'm gonna say I'm a 9, even though I'm tired because I only had a few hours. Well, I had like 5 hours of sleep. So, but I had a great week, so can't complain.
Real quick, if I can find that photo, can I just flash it up?
The fish?
Here? Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna look.
I'm proud of that fish. I haven't caught a fish since I was like maybe 12, 13.
All right, keep talking. I'm going to send it to my computer and see if I can flash back to that. Because that photo, Sebastian, was like just pure happiness.
I was really happy. But it was like I said, it's all of it. It's like just being there in the moment with my son, not like having a beer in my hand, just fully in the moment and catching the biggest fish ever was great. But you know what? That being said, all the fish that we caught like over the 2-3 days that we were there, I think the biggest one was like maybe 8 inches. So they're all pretty small there.
Pretty sure 8 inches is like this.
No, measurements.
No, pretty sure.
Fisherman's measurement is always like.
No, it's like this, dude.
Oh, right, yeah.
No, wait, that's 6. That's 6.
Yeah. Gotcha.
James,
Yeah.
I think your measurement technique is
I use the metric
an
system.
exception for the rule.
Can I just say that I love the bucket hat, by the way, too? I think I sent that on our little text thread, by the way. You pull that look off like a boss.
My hat, my little
the
fisherman's hat.
Yep. Yeah. It's solid.
Funniness.
Yeah, that's also my photography hat. I wear that.
Yep. Good look. Yep.
Thanks.
Yep.
But yeah, doing good.
Sweet.
I was like, we're all doing pretty good.
Okay, I found it.
Oh,
how about
right.
now?
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Bucket hat.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Outdoorsman.
That looks like 8 inches.
Yeah.
That's a real 8 inches.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also
the 2-finger thing is legit.
okay, also check this out. One of the nights, so this place is a designated dark sky zone. I don't know if you guys, you're familiar with that. So
Is that for evil purposes?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So one of the nights we all went out and I was doing my, photography stuff and I brought everybody out to check out the stars because it was amazing. I don't know if you can see that.
I saw your post on Instagram. It was amazing.
That's the Milky Way. So it was fun to do that kind of stuff, Anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about Charlie. Why are you here, Charlie?
Because you asked me to be. It's like one of those perspective things where you guys have been doing this for a while, but I always work on Sundays, and then it just kind of so happened that my Sunday client is not here anymore and I need something to do, and it kind of worked out perfectly, honestly. It's like a good way to stay connected and not be sad that that's not what I'm doing today and get to do this instead. So I'm grateful to be here.
I I don't want to be morbid, but is it because your client died?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. It was, yeah, I don't know, like very quick little story. I told Anthony about this, but when I knew he was passing on Monday evening, and his daughter told me that I could go and visit the next morning. And so I set an alarm for 8 o'clock to go and say goodbye in the morning. And right before I woke up, I had a dream about him and he told me he was tired. And I said, I know, it's okay. And then my alarm woke me up and I saw a text from his daughter that he passed at 7:30. And so I feel like he came into my dreams and said goodbye. So it was like, and his wife died a few years ago. And so I'm happy that he gets to be with his wife again. That's what I keep thinking.
That's really sweet.
That is sweet.
I feel like the universe is totally, there's like energy that is, I had a few experiences like that where there's like just energy being transferred and things like that happening. And it's pretty cool because it's like,
Would you say more so in sobriety? Because I definitely feel like since I've been sober, there's been a lot more of those, those moments, coincidences, as they say.
I think
God shots, whatever you want.
Yeah, honor God. I think maybe you just more like since, I'm not numbing out like I was, that it just opens you up to being able to receive that energy, There's
it's
probably
like cleaning the connectors and like electrical connectors, cleaning the rust off, and you have a cleaner connection. To me, I have to do these visual analogies of things, but that's how I look at it. It's like cleaning the acid and the stuff off the battery posts and the battery cables and connecting it so the connection's cleaner is how I look at it.
I look at it as having a dusty lens, and then I have to wipe off my lens so I can get a better view. How about that?
Anthony, how do you look at it?
Honestly, I'm really liking these metaphors. I think the acid clean off that thing sounds pretty. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, like those having that view and that perspective, there's got to be like you have to have that like openness, right? And so like if my head isn't clear, if my heart isn't like clear, then I'm gonna one, not care when those things come around, or two, just not simply not acknowledge them. So I don't have a cool metaphor. I'm sorry, guys.
What about like cleaning the face of your golf club so your grooves are nice and clean, and then your ball can make contact with the grooves?
It's all about
Creating
contact, making, yeah.
No, okay.
That works.
Contact with a higher golf club.
Yeah.
Sebastian, it's like baiting your hook with a fresh worm.
Oh,
Oh.
Wiggles a lot so you can get that 8-inch fish.
So you get that 8-inch fish.
I'm proud. I'm proud.
That's
I'm proud
awesome.
of 8 inches.
When I was young, this is like one of my only fishing stories. When I was young, I was probably, I don't know, 8. And I was so upset that I wasn't catching fish and my older sister did. So my mom went and grabbed the
no.
fish and put it on the end of my line and
Oh.
faked that I caught it. And I was so happy. I didn't know the truth until I was probably 12, and I was very upset about that.
Oh.
I think that was what put me on my path of destruction.
Sorry, Brandon. That sounds dramatic.
Was that on your 4th step? Did you
Yes.
talk about it with?
Yes. Okay, I'm done.
All right.
All right, good show, guys.
Yep. That's a wrap. Thanks, Charlie, for being.
Yeah.
Well,
All right, let's get into it. What's up?
Are we talking about what we do for sobriety? What was the topic? Well, I know we just talked about a topic.
I think that's solid. Like what do you do to like maintain or like principles in all of our affairs, like Sebastian said? I think those two kind of go together.
Yeah.
Well, you said it. That was on your 2 years. That was your topic. And I remember talking about it because I was experiencing some of those moments, and it was a good topic at that time. So yeah, what do you do, Charlie? How do you practice everything that you've learned? How do you apply it into your life?
Some days are better than others, for sure. Yeah. I don't know. It's like we learn so much, and like some things take a little bit longer to figure out how to apply them, and like some things have just been concepts for me for a while. And I think now I'm getting to the point where I kind of see how they integrate in my life. Like the first time I did the steps, it was very much just like, I'm just doing what I'm being told to do. I don't really see how this is connected to a lot of things. And then going through them a second time around, I kind of see, why everything is set up the way it is. And I feel like my higher power or the universe tells me when it's time to work a certain step. And that's kind of what like practicing these principles in all my affairs looks like for me, because it's like I just am starting to have this feeling when I'm not like even keeled is kind of what it feels like, when I just feel like I'm teetering one way or the other, or things don't feel like, if I don't feel content, then I know that something's up. And for me, it's usually like I'm being either very hard on myself or very judgmental. And so for me, it's like I just need to be right sized. And I think like
Welcome to Right Size Livin.
I know, isn't that perfect?
Oh, baby.
Nice plug.
Water God moment right there.
And I think like that's how it comes out, where it's like it's either a step that I could work that I haven't worked hard enough or honestly enough, or there's a principle that I'm not quite living up to. And so just like taking the time to check in, either that's just like a check in with myself or checking in with my sponsor or other alcoholics and talking about what's going on, usually helps, like, shine a light on what it is that I'm not doing very well, that I could definitely do better.
I feel like for, that kind of like ability to be self-aware and now, like you said, you kind of like can feel when you're crunchy. I'm not crunchy in that like you want to use,
I like
but like when
crunchy.
things like when something's not right or off, right?
Mhm.
You can recognize that. And like for me, I feel that too. But like it wasn't something that I was able just to like start doing. You know what I mean? That's why I love the whole like program of action part of this deal, right? It's like through doing all the things that we do, right? That a lot of us do, which is why we're, and generally in pretty fit spiritual condition, right? That like now I've gotten to the point where like if I react a certain way towards a situation, I don't like it, it's like instant. I'm like feel like shit inside and I like make it right then, basically,
The
because it
10
just
step.
I do a 10 step right
Yeah.
away. Like,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
the one I practice the most. 10 step, almost every day.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm able to yeah, like you said, to catch it, not necessarily be able to make that 10 step right away, but at least acknowledge that it happened and ask myself why. And then, think about it, and then I'm able to recognize it and deal with it and make right. But yeah, I do get a lot of practice with that one.
And for our like 3 listeners out there, what is the 10 step again? So 10, continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. So
That's a big one, man. Like,
yeah,
how do you admit you're wrong, like promptly to, that's hard.
I think for me, what it is because I also have this thing where I think with anxiety that I overthink things a lot. And I also think I'm like terrible person a lot of the time, where I think I need to apologize for a lot of things that I maybe don't. Because I've definitely made some 10 steps and people have been like, I honestly don't even know what you're talking about. Like, I didn't perceive it that way. But the way I do it is like, if I think about it more than twice, I need to do something about it. If it like throughout the day, if it pops into my head more than twice, then I need to do something.
Yeah.
That actually happened the other day at work. I pulled into the parking lot and I did see her, but I was trying to pull into a spot and there was a coworker sitting on the curb and I wanted a spot where I kind of had to go like this. And I saw her like jump back. And I didn't see her at work that day, but I saw her the next day and I just said, I'm so sorry if I scared you yesterday. Like, I did see you, but after I pulled into the spot, I'm like, if I was her, I would be really scared that I was about to get my feet crushed by this car that's like moving really fast and blasting music. And she was like, huh? Oh, no, you're fine. And I'm like, okay, well, I've been like stewing on this for a whole day and you didn't even realize it. It's about me and my spiritual fitness and like the way I feel about things, right? And so it's like, if I'm holding on to it because I feel bad that I didn't do something in alignment with the person that I want to be, then I have to like purge that out. I got to get it out.
I think that's great. I mean, like it's there, even though this person and I've had that experience myself too, where people are like, what, dude? Like, I mean, what are you apologizing for? But it's kind of like if we're always trying to, push towards like being an idealized version of ourselves, right? I feel like think of how amazing that is. At least for somebody like me, I think about like how amazing that is. I was the guy that like was passing you on the shoulder on the freeway because like, I was a crazy dude who would do that stuff. And like, so that's how I used to react to the world, right? And now it's like, if I'm trying to, you know, attain this idealized version, that just shows, I think, a lot of growth for somebody like me. I don't want to speak for anybody else, but I would imagine that like is probably the case with all of us, right? That we're all trying to achieve this, and so part of that is making things right when it doesn't feel right inside,
Mhm.
one of our actions, So
Yeah.
I don't know if that made sense, but
I mean, to me, yeah, it absolutely makes sense. But it's also for me, like not overthinking it where you constantly thinking that you're doing something wrong or having like this guilty conscience, and it's just like, dude, there's nothing there, like, and reeling my mind back in, because it's just like it starts to build, and I'm just like, dude, there's nothing wrong, you're just you're kind of just losing it, you're losing track, and realizing that, and over time, it's the progress where I'm not so quick to react to my own feelings, and trying to curb that. I was listening to this podcast, and this doctor was just talking about, he kind of lost everything in his life, and he was comparing progress, just these little things that you do to improve or anything. It doesn't seem like you're making any headway, but he compared to like compound interest, where a week, a month down the road, you're like, wow, this is happening. And so kind of stepping back and realize when you're in the shit, it doesn't seem like you're making any movement, and you actually feel like you're moving backwards. But then a month down the road, you're like, it's not a problem anymore. So kind of realizing that, I mean, because I've been, working through a lot of stuff the last, year, but really like the last month, and it's just like getting frustrated with myself because I don't think that I'm making enough progress, and then kind of stepping back and realizing this is how this process has worked, this last year for me, where you don't feel like you're just barely holding your head above water, and then you're just like, oh, I'm at this point, because I have a tendency to forget the work that I've done. And so it's a balancing act of like, I'll overthink and stress out about stuff, and I'll kind of bring it into perspective and calm down, and then once I've calmed down, I can kind of see the progress. It's just a balancing act for me, on how my brain works, but I'm constantly thinking about like, how can I improve myself, and how can I identify these character flaws with myself, and it's just these minute things, like you said, James, just like traffic or anything like that. And I've been trying to pass these on to my son, and now that I'm sober, I see the behaviors from my past that have been instilled in him, and he's a smart ass, and he's, which is not always a bad thing, but he can kind of have a negative view, and in a situation that doesn't need to be. So I'm trying to set an example for him, now. And we've talked about it, and he's noticed my change, and how much of a different person I am, because I constantly trying to improve myself, almost maybe to a fault, where it's like sometimes I get hung up on that. So, but yeah.
I was just thinking, this is, we're in AA. We follow the program, and it's a spiritual program, right? We've all heard that over and over. And for me, I have never been spiritual in my life. Like, this is, I've been working on step 2 and 3 with two different groups, one with the group and then one with just my individual sponsor. And last week I had a conversation with my individual sponsor, and it was a really good conversation. And I was telling him, what I just said. I've never been spiritual, religious, and finally, like, in year 3, like, just in the past like 5-6 months, I feel spiritually well. Like my inner self feels at peace. Like, not that I've been anxious or just unwell. I just haven't. I didn't really have the concept of spirituality and what that meant until just recently. And I spoke with my sponsor about it. And I think when it comes to the 10th step, you know, because I'm spiritually fit, I can recognize, you know, the issues that I'm dealing with at hand, and I'm able to go through it and process it right away and not react, not be reactionary, you know, like I used to. And so I think, yeah, for me, I think that's a huge part of it is just I finally feel, I don't know, spiritualized.
You got the spirit in you. So
I'm
that's what
spirited.
you got. You got spirit in you.
Like I'm, you know, I'm comfortable in my own skin. I'm happy with myself. I'm content, and I forgot who said not. I'm not reactionary, but I'm able to process it and deal with it right away on a, you know, even keel level.
Not to
Spiritual level.
oversimplify things, but there's a really cool speaker tape that I listen to a lot. It's an NA speaker tape, and he talks about how first year clean up, second year don't give up, and the third year look up. And
Mhm.
because I'm having the same experience right now, I'm in the third year, and like to be fair, like the second year was really difficult. Like I felt like giving up a lot, right? And I don't know, I feel like a little more in touch with whatever the spiritual side of, you know, the program is. And it makes for a lot less anxiety, right? Uh,
Mhm.
at least in my mind,
Yeah.
and a lot more self-awareness.
So what was it again? First year is don't take or
Don't take, clean up,
clean up,
don't give up,
will give up, look up.
look up.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. That's good.
Yeah. I'll
I,
I'm
send you the
writing
speaker
down some
today.
notes too.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I've never religion has always ever since I was a young kid growing up in Utah and constantly being harassed by missionaries to convert. And so I've always had this resentment towards religion and didn't want to know anything about it, but I'd always felt that there was something taking care of me, like I had these guardian angels. And when I first got sober, I mean, and it took probably a couple of months, but being able to even go back through my life and see these instances that should have ended horribly and they didn't. And when I was younger, before I got sober, it was just kind of luck to me. And then it got, the ego came in and I was like, I'm just fucking good. I'm just I can, it's me that's doing that. And then once I got sober, looking back at all these things and talking about God and I'm able to go back and be like, through my life and like that wasn't me, that wasn't me that handled that situation. It was God that was. And so it's funny, I had no resistance to opening my mind and my soul up to like the idea that there is God, because how I got to the Alano Club was because of God. I can see that now, and I mean, and it's still so strange to hear me saying this. I used to make fun of people that would talk about religion and God, and I'm just like, you guys are suckers, you
But
know?
I'm not saying that I've found my higher power or I know who my higher power is and I'm comfortable with that. I'm saying I'm spiritually fit. Like, that's two different things for me.
Right.
You know,
I'm not implying that. This is just for me.
yeah,
I'm
I
not
get you.
directing this to anybody else, but my experience with sobriety and finding my higher power, I think that I was just in such a horrible place. And like I mean, it didn't take much convincing that something else was controlling this, because I mean I had no control over anything. I
Mm.
could I could barely do anything, and I have these constant reminders every day, and I see it every day in things that happen with me, and I just know that there's a God there that's protecting me. And it sounds corny as shit. But that's just the way that I see it, and how, because I experience it. And so I've told myself, I was just like, yeah, I used to make fun of these people that talked about God. And, now it's because I wasn't willing to acknowledge that it wasn't me, that was my ego, and that there's something that's guiding me, because I can look back, even just getting to the Alano Club and having you guys there. I was talking to Anthony about it, where I'm just like, I've been to several different meetings, and there is absolutely no way that I would be where I am in my sobriety had I not gone to the Alano Club. And it wasn't just, me choosing that, it was, and meeting you guys. Because if it wasn't for you guys, it scares the shit out of me to think where my life would have been, or would be right now, in a parallel universe, had I not met you guys, and you guys taking care of me. So
Your higher power and I had a good talk, and so he sent me to you. So.
I was gonna say the same thing. I was like,
you guys paid off, where you guys, he's like, here's $10, take care of this dipshit.
Yeah.
Meeting me was definitely a god shot, dude.
It was
tired of
more than
dealing with
$10. It was $50. It was $50.
Okay, good.
It's like that scene from We're the Millers where it's like, wait, you guys are getting paid? I'm doing it for free.
Hold up.
But yeah, it's just, I mean, it's crazy, but it's, I can see it in myself. Like I am actively, and being of service is by far the most powerful thing I've experienced. And so I try to do it every day in every little thing. And my son gets annoyed because I'm like talking to people, in the checkout lines, and like having these conversation, and he thinks that they're getting annoyed, and I'm just like, okay, if they are, that's fine. But they, they'll engage in like being able to just touch someone's life every day. That's why I call, I'm flirting with the world. I just like having these interactions, and it makes me just like giddy inside to like see these people that maybe not think that they want to interact, and then they like reluctantly do. And so, I see
reluctantly.
that. What's that?
Reluctantly.
I'm all, come on, it's me.
The HP put me in your life right now.
Man.
Can't you see that?
So anyway.
Oh, why not? I agree, man. Like spread the love. Like we need it, especially now.
Right now.
Well,
I think that circles back like the practicing principles in all of our affairs, man. That's like just like a perfect example of Bflo right there. Yep.
Give it away. Yeah.
I mean, because I was so reluctant to like accept help from you guys. And, because I'm just a self-reliant person. I'm just like, I'll deal with this by myself. And I realize, and I still struggle with that, is that I'll bang my head up against the wall for so long, and I just get so stressed out, and I'm just like, dude, you need help. And I do that with you guys, when I finally reach out, but I'm very open with, asking for help from my higher power. And it's helped. It's helped so much. And I see the results of it every day, just by my mood. And, it's that progress. It's these little things that I do. And then if I do something negative, I feel it, like Charlie was saying, I feel it, and then I got to correct it. And so, I live in gratitude because I'm so grateful. And I've learned to love myself. I hated myself, and I didn't realize that. And I've learned to love myself. Therefore, I can pass that love on like you guys did to me. Because I can accept any of you guys. When I met you guys and I've heard your stories, and I was just like, I don't give a shit. You're a good person, but I can't do that shit for myself. And I'm learning to recognize that, where I'm just like, dude, you're a good person too, but my negative thoughts overshadow any good that I've done.
I think there's like this thing in addiction where it's like we like bang our head against the wall and then wonder why our head hurts.
Right.
And it's like, but I do that in sobriety too, where I just make things so much harder for myself than it needs to be.
Right.
And then I just like have this light bulb moment of like, this is why I have a sponsor. This is why I have friends. This is why I have, a meeting to go to. or
Ooh.
like it comes back to like 6 and 7 where I'm like, this is a character defect that I know I have and I've
Right.
made a commitment to work on, and I'm not doing that, and that's why it's still coming up. And it's just like, why does my head hurt? And I'm like, oh, because I've been smacking it into a wall all
Right.
day and not questioning it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tebow.
That's good.
Tebow.
Yeah.
No, I'm just taking this all in, and I'm trying to like pull myself out of like, because I have this tendency to like start going down these like paths of like I hear a word that someone says and I start going down these paths. Like it's like being in high school, you know, history, right? You just like get lost in these little thoughts. But trying to like look at this like holistically from what y'all are saying and taking it back to like these principles, and Sebastian, what you said in the 10th step, and then what Brandon just said in like having that self-compassion that maybe you show others that you don't show yourself. But then what Charlie said about like how we practice these principles, like what I'm kind of seeing is just this theme, like if you do it to the external world, right? Like you say sorry and you show compassion towards that, like it's easier to bring it back to yourself. And that's where like some of that peace comes in, that serenity, right? When you're like, okay, let me start first with them before I treat myself the way we all deserve to be treated, you know? Just
Right.
kind of holistically, that's kind of what I heard right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Being there for others, but then not showing up for yourself. You know, and that's a thing for me where I like to please people and feel wanted and needed, but then I won't show up for myself, and it's punishing, and I'm recognizing that, you know, more and more every day. Therefore, I can, you know, recognize it and then have a game plan and slowly work on it, because I know this is a character flaw. This is, you know, and there's just a lot of things, you know, with taking care of my body so I can actually have, you know, a strong brain, a strong body in order to do these things. It's all, you know, it's all correlated, you know. So it's taking care of yourself spiritually, physically, mentally, in order to perform these things to be happy. And so I try to be diligent about that, because I before it was just like whatever, you know, I'll eat whatever, I'll think whatever, and you know, having positive thoughts, you know, as much as possible, even in downtimes, like, and you know, it's I've got to control what's coming in my mind and my body in order to project, you know, how I want to be, because I need to work on this in order to project that, so I can be there to help other people that need it.
I, for one, will always want and need you, Bflo.
I
And
know you do, baby.
same with you, T-Bone and Charlie and Cbass.
Yeah,
Just so you know.
we
As
love
long
you.
as I keep getting paid by your higher power, I'm there for you, Brandon.
Yeah. Getting that
This
currency,
this
baby.
hush money is
Yeah.
great.
Are they following inflation? Because that's kind of happening right now. So
Yeah.
like, is that 50 becoming 62.50 right now? I don't know. I hope so.
You guys
No,
ready to
you're
buy
right.
out
Time for buyout.
or cash out? We bought in. We're gonna cash out.
Cash out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who'd
Hopefully
we
y'all
start with?
made some serenity. I'm a 9 now, and I went up 1 point because of being with you guys. Yeah. Yep. And so thank you. You guys gave me my medicine for today, so I can go forth and live in Sky Mama's universe.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, Charlie, what's up?
Yeah, definitely the same. I would say I'm at a 9 now. It's just I'm usually not a morning person, so I don't get the whole when people do, you know, the 6 a.m. meetings and like this is how I like to start my day. But it makes such a big difference because like now my head is in recovery and being right sized, and that's gonna follow me throughout the rest of the day. So right size living, man.
Yeah. Thanks, Charlie. I'm a, what did I say I was? 8.5, 9? Well, I'm a 9 still. I'm doing great. And it was great to be with you guys. And Charlie, thank you for coming. Appreciate
Of
it.
course.
Yeah.
You're gonna raise our viewership for
Oh,
sure.
yeah, five viewers this week.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna double our 3 to 6.
Yeah. All right.
I'm at an 11.
Yeah.
No, I'm a 10. It was great. I got, there's a little technical difficulties in the beginning, but I always love seeing you guys, and especially, special having Charlie here. So yeah. And I talked to my HP James, and he's going to do some cloud seeding over your area so you can get some rain.
Thank you, dude. Thank you. Gosh,
Boo.
love you.
Boo.
It's cloud seeding over there, Sebastian. So
Oh, okay.
it'll be just over James's area.
Can't wait.
It's a controversial new technology. I'm just going to say that out loud.
Yeah. Don't like it. We need the opposite. How do you take away the clouds?
Yeah.
Ooh.
T-Bone.
I checked in at an 8.5. I'm going to go ahead and say like a 9 plus, 9.5 maybe. But yeah, I liked just kind of sitting back and hearing what y'all had to say a little bit. It's easier to listen when you're not like for me, when I'm not thinking about what I'm going to say next. And so I got to like really hear some really cool stuff from y'all. Like, and I'll get to take it back today, and what I do today. Some really beautiful stuff. As always, it's good seeing you all every, on these mornings. And Charlie, it goes without being said how much impact you have on each person here. And so it's just amazing to share this with you and have you here. And yeah, love you all.
Yeah.
You guys. Thanks for having me.
James's golf club metaphor really
Did that stick with you?
drove it home for me.
That's gonna be on the
No
that's gonna
pun
be the highlight reel.
Yeah.
God, I hope that makes what do they call those? The short,
Highlight.
the little short.
Yeah, the short highlight.
Yeah, I hope that makes it short. Yeah.
Well, that wraps up this episode of Right Size Livin'. Thank you guys for participating, and most of all, thank you listeners for your attention. We hope you found this interesting and will join us again soon. Goodbye.